What is going on, fellow farmers? Welcome to our very first beginner's guide tutorial on FS25. Good to see you all here. Today in this tutorial, we're just going to kind of be going over the game settings, how to set up your game to make it either easy for you or hard for you. We're going to go over everything here in the menu and all the settings that are within the game. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to click options. Be sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and click that like button for me. And make sure you click the bell and click all, so you know when I post new content just like this, where we're going to be uploading a lot of these tutorials. Now, in here, when you first go to your settings, okay, let me go back here. If you go to options right here, in your game settings, this is going to be your language right here, which you can go from English or whatever you want. Your input mode is going to be what shows up in your help window. So whether it's controls, whether it's control icons, or whether it's keyboard icons, you can set it to either one. If you have a keyboard and you want those to show up, you can do it on keyboard. If you have a gamepad like a controller, you can set on that. I just leave mine on auto because I use a combination of both. I use my controller and my keyboard for this game. Down here, gamepad and steering wheels. So if you have any steering wheels or if you have a controller, again, if you set this to off, you will not be able to use your controller or steering wheels. If you have it set to on, then your controllers and your steering wheels or whatever you have will be activated. Head-eye tracking here. This is to deactivate and deactivate your head-eye tracking here. Force feedback right here. You can adjust this however you like. Invert Y-look. A lot of people do this to invert your controller, your thumbsticks or whatever. If you want this on, you can click it there. Down here is your volume master. This is the all-around game volume. So everything together, your music volume, the volume of your tractors and all that, this is it right here, okay? Now, I keep mine on 20% just for the sake of recording. I don't know if that's right yet. That's what I always had FarmSim22 on. So we're going to put on 20%. If it's a little bit too low and you guys can't hear the game, please let me know. But you can set this however you want. It goes all the way up to 100%. I leave mine on 20. Now, if you change it, you want to go down here and click apply like that. All right, see how I changed mine? And you're going to click apply. Now, music volume, of course, it is what it is, but we're not going to use that. I don't use it just for copyright reasons, but you guys can use that. It goes all the way up to 100%. Vehicle volume right here. This is the volume of your vehicles. Environment volume. So like the sounds of the birds and stuff like that, the wind, all that good stuff. That's what this is. Character volume. So this is very important. In this game, we have a new feature where the AIs will actually talk to us. Okay. So this is going to be the volume of your AI that's talking to you, okay? So make sure you set that correctly and then click apply. Any kind of changes you make, once you make them, make sure you click apply. Now, radio volume, this is for the radio for your vehicle or whatever, just radio in general. I'm going to turn mine off and click apply. The GUI volume, it's this right here. If I turn it up and you hear that right there, that's what that is. So the GUI volume is just that sound. Now, I think it's pretty annoying, so I don't use it. I always keep it off. Game volume while not in focus. Now, what this means, you can activate this however you want, but what this means is if you have like multiple monitors on your setup and you're working on another screen or whatever, then if you've got this activated while you're working on the other screen, the game volume will continue to play on your main monitor where you've got your game at. But if you have this set to off when you're on another monitor, then this will not have any sound. So I'm going to set mine to 100. Click apply. All right, so that's just for multiple monitors. Voice chat volume, of course, that's for in-game chat for multiplayer. Voice recording volume, not too sure what this is for yet. I've just got mine set to, I might just turn mine, well, you can't turn it off. You can only go from 150% to auto to 50%. So I'm going to keep mine on auto. Voice activity, voice input mode. So this is if you want push to talk or if you want it off. I don't use that, so I'm just going to leave it there. And then if you made changes, click apply. Going down to the next. These are general settings here. Going to the next one. This is going to be your graphics. Okay. So now this is all going to depend on what kind of computer you're running, what kind of system you have. Okay. So your specs. Depends a lot on your GPU. Games like this depend a lot on your GPU and your CPU. Okay. So I've got mine set to 4K. You can do 4K. You can do 1920 by 1200 by 1080p. You can go all the way down to, whatever. You can go all the way down as low as you want. Now, I recommend setting this to, if you got a good system, I recommend setting this to 2560 by 1440p. That's 4K. Okay, and if you start having issues and your game starts lagging or whatever, you can always come in and lower this setting right here or some of these settings. You can go from ultra to very low to medium to high to very high and then ultra. Any changes you make, guys, make sure you click apply. Down here, frame rate limit. Most people will have this set to 60. I'm going to leave it at 60. You can set it however you want. You can go 30, however low you want. Again, this all depends on the speed of your computer, okay? Windowed mode right here. You can go from full screen to windowed mode. You can change this. I'm going to leave it on full screen, but you can change it if you like. Resolution scale for the screen itself. That's what this is for. I'm going to leave it on 100% because it looks good just the way it is. This is the brightness for the game here. This is your in-game HUD scale, so how big you want your HUD to be, your speedometer and stuff like that. That's what this is. I don't know if you can go. Can you go higher? Yeah. So you can go higher. Now I'm going to keep mine on 100% because that's default. Now if you look down here and where it says advanced graphics settings, we're going to click that. Click your space bar. Now in here, again, advanced graphics settings. This all depends on your PC. Okay. I'm not going to. I mean, if I can push these up a notch, I will. But I'm not really going to mess with anything in here because my PC seems to always run farm sim games good by their default settings. There's a few things I have to change in graphics settings, but not much. So everything from your hardware profile to your object draw distance, this is follow draw distance, LOD distance, terrain LOD distance, and then your resolution scaling 3D, shader quality. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can go in here and you can mess with this stuff. I'm personally not going to mess with it. Like I said, it runs good the way it is by default. So down here, you've got resolution 3D scaling, shader quality, resolution scaling 3D. Sorry, guys. Shading rate, and then you've got screen space shading rate. There's a lot of stuff in here. Screen space reflection, screen space shadows, SSAO quality, atmosphere quality, volumetric fog quality. So there is fog in the game. Cloud shadows, terrain quality, texture resolution, texture filtering. And then we got light quality here. You can change all this stuff. Like I said, if your PC's running slow or something, or you got a low end to medium end PC, you can always come in here and change these under advanced graphics settings, okay? Then you've got lens flare quality, shadow distance quality, soft shadows. You've got shadow map filtering. Then you've got foliage shadows, realistic beacon lights. Now, right here is very important. The realistic beacon lights, you probably want these on. What if you have it off, your realistic beacon lights will work and they will spin and turn, but they will not reflect off of anything. From my past experience, I believe that's what this is for. So I'm going to turn this to on. That way, and I would recommend that you turn it on too if your PC can run it. And when you go up next to the buildings and your beacons are on, they will reflect off of different things. So buildings, other tractors, the ground when it's nighttime. I would recommend leaving that to on, okay? And then down here, you can set your field of view, your player first-person field of view, your player third-person field of view. We do have third-person in the game. Max shadow lights, max mirrors. Now, this is very important right here. Max mirrors. I always explain this a lot. Now, if you have this set, say, to 0, okay, you're not going to be able to see out of your mirrors at all. It's just going to be a blur. I recommend setting this to the highest number, which is 7. Anything below that, you might be able to see, but maybe not very good. But on 7, it is extremely clear. So set that to 7 and click apply. But again, set it to however your PC can run it. It all depends on your PC, okay? Max tire tracks, very important. The percentage of the tire tracks, the higher the percentage, I don't know how to explain this. Let me see. The higher percentage of tire tracks you have, the longer your tire tracks will stay on the ground. The less percentage you have on these tire tracks, the less time they will stay on the ground. So if I have this set to say like 0, you will have no tire tracks at all, okay? But if I have it set to say like 50%, maybe like 100%, then you'll have tire tracks, but they'll fade away pretty quickly, right? I don't necessarily like the tire tracks, so I'm going to leave mine set to about 100% right there, and I'm going to click apply. Then you got your mesh tessellation volume. Then down here you've got your multi-sampling however you say that word, I can't say that word. Post-process anti DLSS, and then you've got your Fidelity FX Super Resolution, your FX Super Resolution 3. You've got your Fidelity FX Super Resolution 3 frame generation. Like I said, I leave all this alone. I don't mess with it. Your Intel XESS, your sharpness of the game, DRS quality, and DRS target frames per second. So I think that's pretty much it in here. Now, if we go down to here, these are all of your keybinds. So you can go in here and literally change any keybind in here that you want to fit your set, to fit your liking. We'll talk more about these in game because the setting is within the game itself, okay? But like I said, anything you have in the game, it's all in here, all your keybinds. So if there's something you're confused on, you can always come here and look it up and you can find the keybinds for it. Going down to here. Now this right here is not really for anything in specific, particular really. This is pretty much your dead zone sensitivity and your axis stuff for either your controller or your steering wheel if you got it set up. I mainly use this when I hook up my steering wheel. And what I will do is I will adjust my axis to probably 5%. And what it does is when you turn the wheel, it makes the wheel turn as soon as you are turning your wheel. So there's no lag time in the turn. So when you turn your wheel, it's not taking 0.2 seconds for the wheel to turn on the tractor, okay? So that's what all these are for, is axis for different things on your steering wheel and your controller. All right, let's go ahead and let's go back. And we are now going to go into downloadable content. All right, now in here, we'll do a different tutorial on the store here. But if you did pre-order the game, then you do have the MacDon pack if you pre-order the game. If not, then you're probably going to have to purchase this pack right here, okay? Just a little food for thought. And we will get more into mods later. This will be a totally different tutorial, all this stuff right here. Let's go back and let's go into career. And we're going to pick an empty slot. And right here, guys, this is very interesting how they did this. I'm glad they did this. Now, you can do, we've got Riverbend Springs, however you say that, Penta, I think it's how you say it, and Zilanka. So this is the 3 base game maps that they have in the game. Right here, guys, you can do new farmer mode, farm manager, start from scratch, and new farmer. Now, if you start from scratch, you can still adjust your money from 100,000 up to 1 million. So you can go 100,000, you can go 250,000, you can go to 500,000, you can do 750,000, 1 million. I think it's good they did this for the beginner gamers, you know what I mean? And then start loan, I would recommend setting this to 0. You do not want a loan. See the euro right here, guys? We will change that in game. I couldn't figure out how to change it here in the settings. I think it's in the game. Start farm, yes, you always want the guided intro tour on. So we are actually going to go to new farmer mode, and we're going to start with $1 million, okay? Because we're just talking about the game settings right now anyway. And right here, your economic difficulty setting, you can go to easy, normal, and hard. Now, what your economic difficulty setting is for is your prices and stuff. So if you set this up to say medium or hard mode, then making money is going to be a little bit harder. Your prices are going to be lower on selling your crop. For those who are just starting out, or for those who played it for a while, I recommend setting this to easy if you want to. And then we're just going to click continue. All right. And then make sure this is selected. If it's not highlighted in green, it's not selected. Okay. So make sure you select it. And then we're going to click start. All right, so we're going to load the game up, guys. Once we get in the game, I'll bring you all right, guys. So if you come to this menu right here for right now, we'll do another video on how to create your character. Let's just go ahead and click confirm, and we're going to jump into the game here. All right here. Welcome to your new farm. It's mid-morning. When you arrive at your new farm, Walter, your grandfather is no longer able to look after the farm, so you are now taking over. Now, this will be a different video right here, guys. Let's start with the interface. You will find all the important information on your screen. All right. So we can click right here, as you guys can see. This is actually going to be a different video here, so we'll do a different video on this. Let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit the escape key, and we are going to go down to, if you hit escape key and go down to the settings right here, and then go into, you can go to game settings, all right, and you can go over to general settings and controls. We're going to go to game settings here, okay? Now, down here is you can pause the game here, of course. You can rename your game to whatever you want. by clicking this right here. You can click that, I think, or click inside of it. Sorry about that, guys. You can click inside of it. We are going to name this one Tutorials. All right, if I can spell it right. There we go. And then click enter to save it. And then right here, guys, on autosave interval, this is just to autosave the game. You can set it from 15 minutes to, well, it's 15 minutes max. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then off. I leave mine off because I like to manually save. This is your time scale. Not sure why that's not giving us the option to show up there or whatever. Economic difficulty, again, we explained this. Your traffic, this is turn your traffic on and off. So if it gets a little annoying, you can turn it off. I'm going to turn mine off just for the sake of this tutorial. All right, seasonal growth. Seasonal growth. Now, you have seasonal growth just like we had in FS22. If you set this to 1 day, you'll have 1 day growth. It goes all the way up to 28 days, okay? Now, the cool thing about this, if you set this to pause, that means your seasonal growth will stop. If you set it to yes, your seasonal growth will be on, which means your crop grows by seasons, okay? It grows by seasons. I'm going to go ahead and turn mine off for now, but you can leave that on if you want to, and we'll talk more about that in another tutorial. Snow right here. If you want the snow on or off, you can disable and enable it right here. I'm going to disable mine for right now. Right here, crops and growth, crop destruction. Now, if you have this on, okay, you can do whatever you want, guys, but if you have this turned on and you accidentally run through your crop or whatever, it's going to destroy it, okay? It's going to destroy your crop. So I recommend turning this to off. I leave mine off. Periodic plowing required, which I think is like every third harvest you have to plow. So if you turn this on, it will let you know when it's time to plow your field. All right? I'm just going to leave mine off. Fieldstone, this happens when you go and cultivate your field. You'll see rocks pop up in the field after you cultivate. If you want fieldstone on, you can leave it on. If not, then turn it off. I leave mine off. Lime required, periodic lime requirement, which is also done every third harvest. So if you want to know when to lime your field, you can leave this on and it will tell you, all right? Weeds, if you want to deal with weeds, you can leave this on, but you'll have to go out in the field and spray for your weeds, or use a weeder implement or whatever to get the weeds out, all right? Disaster destruction. Now, if this is enabled, for those who watch the gameplay trailer on my channel, if this is enabled, when inclement weather comes in, like storms, tornadoes, and stuff like that, it's going to destroy your crop, okay? However, if you have this set to visuals only, you will see the tornado and you will see the rain, but it will not affect your crop. Now, if you go like this and you disable it, it will not destroy your crop, but you're not going to see the rain and you're not going to see the tornadoes, okay? You're not going to see any kind of inclement weather. So I recommend setting this to visuals only. That way you can see the weather happening, but it's not affecting your crop, okay? Down here, your dirt on your vehicles, you can go from off to slow to normal to fast. This is the amount of time that dirt will pack up on your vehicles. I put mine on fast just to keep it more realistic. Auto engine start. This is very important right here. Vehicle control, auto engine start, okay? So auto engine start is, you know how when you first start a new map and you get in the tractor and the tractor automatically fires up? So that's what this is for. If this is on, then that means every time you get in the tractor, it's going to start automatically, and when you get out, it will turn off automatically. If you have it turned off, then you can manually start your tractor and you can manually turn it off, okay? I always leave mine off. Stop and go braking. What this is for is if you have this set to off, okay, if you have this set to off and you stop your vehicle and you know that you have the brake, you have the one button that's for brake and reverse. So if you have this set to off, I believe, and you hit your brake button, I'll just say your brake button, you hit your brake button, okay? As soon as you hit it and you come to a stop, it will start backing up if this is set off. Now, if it's turned off. Now, if it's turned on, when you come to a stop with your brake button, you're going to have to stop with your brake button and then let off the button and then hit it again to go in reverse. I hope I explained that good enough. I'm going to leave this off because I like mine to automatically go in reverse. Trailer fill limits. So what this is for, this is to add realism to the game. So if you have a certain specific trailer, it only has a certain fill limit on certain crops. So just for example, if you're loading rocks into if you're loading stones into a trailer, it will only hold so many stones. That doesn't mean it's going to fill the trailer all the way up with stones. That means it has a certain fill limit. So it could be like, it could fill up to maybe like 30%, 40% and stop right there. Okay. But right here, you can have that to on or off. Now, if it's set to off, you will have no trailer limit and you can fill it up as full as you want. If you have it set to on, you will have a trailer fill limit. Okay. Fuel usage, you can set this from normal to low to high. I just keep mine on normal right there. Sorry about that, guys. AI workers, this is very important too. So AI workers refill fuel. Now, what this means, AI workers refill fuel, seeds, fertilizer, storage, manure. We'll just go over all of them at once, okay? What this means is if you have these set to buy, okay, it's okay. But the thing is, your AI workers will automatically refill the tractors, refill the seed, the fertilizer, the slurry, and the manure while they're working, okay? However, you kind of get ripped off on a little bit because it's like 150% times the price if you're letting them refill it opposed to you going back and refilling it. So I'd recommend setting these to off unless you just want a good challenge. Same with these down here. I just set them to off. And then we are now going to go. I think it's everything in here. What is up here? There's the map. We'll go over that here in a little bit. Let's go on over to game settings, okay? Oh, we did that. I'm sorry. Let's go to general settings. Go to general settings right here. And then this is your help window. Now, your help window, you can have it off or on, but that can also be enabled and disabled in the game by hitting the F1 key on your keyboard. I'm not too sure what it is for controller users on like other platforms like Xbox and stuff. Colorblind mode. This is going to be for people who are colorblind. So if you turn that on, you can have it in colorblind mode. Interactive zone markers. These are little zone markers that are around the map, like your info markers. So, for example, when you have a cow pen down and you see the little icon to buy your animals or to drop your water or to drop your food, that's what your interactive zone markers are for, okay? I'd recommend leaving these on. Info triggers, these are info triggers around the game that help you play the game along the way. Kind of the same thing as interactive zone markers, but they're just different types of triggers. I would recommend leaving those on. Field info, okay? Field info right here. Now, if we turn this off, all right, and I go out, and let's say we walk out into a field. I don't think I own anything right yet, but let me walk over to this field here. Let me see what we own. I don't think we actually own anything on this map, so we'll have to. So what it does, guys, I'll just explain to you what it does because we can't do it here. So let me go back into here, general settings, field info. So when you walk up to a field, if you have this on, a little display will pop up on the screen, and it will tell you everything about that field, who owns it, what's growing, what stage it's in, or if it's just a cultivated field or whatever. It tells you everything about that field in a little display window. If you have it off, you will not get that display window. I recommend leaving this on so you can see what's growing on the field, what stage it's in. You know, it'll tell you whether you need lime or whether you need a plow or anything like that. It will tell you that. So leave that field info on. Money unit right here. Okay, here it is, guys. Now you can go from euro to dollar to pound. I'm going to set mine to dollar. Measuring units, you can do kilometers and miles. I'm going to do miles. Temperature unit, you can do Celsius and Fahrenheit. I'm going to do Fahrenheit. Area unit, you can do hectares or acres. Radio right here, you can do on or off. I keep mine off. Now right here, radio range. If you are using the radio by any chance, if you are using this just by any chance whatsoever, if you have it on always, then the radio will always play whether you're in the vehicle or out of the vehicle. If you have it to vehicle only, the radio will only play when you're inside the vehicle, okay? Just a little food for thought. Reset vehicle camera. I've never been too crazy about this. So what this does is if you get out of your tractor and you've got when you're in your tractor in third person, you've got it zoomed to a certain point. If this is turned on, right, when you get out of your tractor and you get back in, it will reset the camera back to default. So like way out away from the tractor. I don't like this on because when I set my tractor to a certain zoom point, I like it to be at that same zoom point when I get back in my tractor. So that's where I'd recommend leaving this off. Or you can turn it on. It's completely up to you guys. Indoor camera suspension. I highly recommend turning this on for the realism itself. So what this does is when you're in first person riding the tractor and you hit a bump or something, it allows the seat to move up and down so that it looks like it's you have actual real indoor camera suspension on your seat. Okay. Or indoor suspension on your seat is what I'm trying to say. Dynamic vehicle camera. I'm not really too sure what this is for. I haven't really tested it out. I usually just leave this to where it's at. I'll leave it on. Invert Y-axis. We went over that a while ago. Easy arm controls. I recommend leaving this on. This is for all your arm controls, so like your front loaders and stuff like that. That's what this is for. Camera sensitivity, this is the sensitivity of your mouse and how fast your mouse moves, okay? Now, I'll probably adjust this a little faster later because I like my character to turn kind of fast, but I'll mess with it a little bit later. Vehicle arm sensitivity, this is for the vehicle arm. So, for your front loaders, your telehandlers and stuff like that. Steering back speed, this is the speed of the wheel as it comes back when you're done steering. I'll set mine to 100% because I like to come back pretty quick for me. Steering sensitivity, of course, is what it is. Says what it is. It's the sensitivity of your steering, so however sensitive you want it to be. Direction change defines the vehicle direction change is automatically toggled or manually by pressing a button. So we are going to leave this on automatic. Gear shift mode, you can go from automatic to manual with clutch. I'm just going to leave mine on automatic. Now, speedometer display value, this is very important too. You can do, now your speedometer in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you can set it to engine speed or you can set it to vehicle speed. I like mine on vehicle speed because that's the accurate speedometer for it, okay? Switch to trains. Now, if you have this off, okay, and keep in mind you have to rent the trains, and the trains will be a totally different tutorial. If you rent a train and you have this off and you hit the tab key or you switch to your other vehicle, it will not go to the trains. But if you have this on and you hit the tab key or switch to your vehicles with your left to right D-pad on your controller, it will automatically put you in the train, okay? But you have to rent the train first. Keep that in mind. Again, we went over the input help mode. This is for the window that drops down with the F1 key. You can use it for auto, keyboard, gamepad, or auto. I'll leave mine on auto. Wood harvesting, automatic cutting. I would leave this on. This will be automatically cut after the tree has been delimbed. Tree will automatically be cut after tree has been delimbed. So I would leave this off because I want to be able to cut the tree myself. I would just leave that off. I think that's what that means. Tree will automatically be cut after the tree has been delimbed. Yeah, I would leave that off. If it's not the way you want it, you can always come back in the game settings or the general settings and set it back. We went over all this, guys. Volume master, vehicle volume, environment volume, character volume, radio volume, GUI volume. Again, the GUI volume is just simply that right there. That's all it is. I leave mine off. All right, now let's go on over to controls. Again, these are your keybinds here. You can set the game. You can set your keybinds however you want. Just keep in mind, if you are setting keybinds, okay, if you're setting keybinds, don't do anything that's going to conflict with another keybind. And what I mean by that is, see right here how you have left shift 0 for crab steering right. Don't go down here and set something else to shift O. It's shift O. Because if you do that, then your controls are going to conflict, and then you're going to have it all messed up. But if something happens, you do mess these up, you can always go down here and reset on. It'll reset everything back to default, okay? Let me go. I think that is it. Let me go over all this again. I think the time scale's not working because we went into a start form. We went into a guided tutorial, and we'll do that on a whole nother video, guys, the guided tutorial, okay? We'll do it on a whole nother video. But that is it for your game settings right there, guys. I think that's pretty much it. Let me double check everything. I'm pretty sure that is it on the game settings. And we'll go over the map in a, well, actually, we'll go over the map right now. Let's go over and go over the map. Okay. So the map itself, there's a lot of different stuff here, a lot of new stuff, and a lot of different menus. If you go up here at the top where you see crop types, and they did add this right here, deselect all, so you can actually deselect them all and then select them all. I'm so glad they added that finally. But if you go in here, guys, we got wheat, barley, canola, oats, corn, sunflower, soybeans, potatoes, rice, long grain rice, sugar beets, sugar cane, cotton, sorghum, grapes, olives, poplar, red beet, carrots, parsnips, green beans, peas. So we do have some new crops, spinach, grass, and oilseed radish. So spinach, peas, and green beans are the new crops in the game, which I think is really awesome. They added those. Now, if you go up here to the top and click this right here, it will take you over to your growth stage. So right here, your blue is your cultivated, your plowed is your purple, your seed bed is your kind of turquoise there. Your growing is just got different stages here in growing. So if I deselect that, you're going to see some of the stuff leave, right? So if I click this, everything you see here in green, that means there's something growing there, okay? Now, if I click on ready to harvest and deselect it, is there anything that's ready to harvest? And you can zoom in and out with either your thumbstick. I think your thumbstick, is it your, let me grab my controller so I can see how it works here. So it's your right trigger and left trigger on controller to zoom in and out. it's your right thumbstick to move around. Now, if I go back over here and I click on ready to harvest, I don't think there's anything that's ready to harvest, it looks like. Okay, yeah, so right here. So these fields right here, I believe, if you click on that, then you'll see the fields that are actually ready to harvest, okay? Now, if you want to buy something, I think we'll do that in a different tutorial. So we'll do a different tutorial on how to buy and sell land and all that. If I go down to harvest it and click on that, anything that needs to be harvested, you will see it in this purple color right here. So for example, field 2, if I click that, that's where things have been harvested at, okay? Remove foliage, of course, the same thing. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. Then you've got, little icons and stuff all over the map. This should probably be a different tutorial, in my opinion. Right here is all your different locations, your different icons. You can tag the place. It's just, there's a gas station there. There's your vehicle shop, so your store there. I'm pretty excited about this new game, guys. I've been dying all morning. I've been up since 4:30 waiting for this game to drop. So, and then there's another gas station there. And then if we go on over now, here in your hotspot, you have vehicles, combines, trailers, tools, workers, tip stations, loading stations, productions, animals, contracts, and others. And we'll go over contracts in another video. So if I click on vehicles, let's go ahead and deselect all and select all. So if you deselect them, it will actually clear all that stuff off the map. So it's pretty cool because you can go on here and deselect anything you want and kind of clean your map up a little bit. See that, how I take all that off? And then it's just going to show the vehicles on the map, which are right here. So this is the main part of your farm right here. So if we go back out and we go over here, now if you want to sprint, if you're walking, now see that marker right there, we're going to do that in a totally different tutorial, guys. It's going to be a different tutorial. When you're walking, you can walk with W, you can walk backward with S, left with A, and right with D. Now, if you want to walk fast on keyboard, hit W and hold down Shift. On controller, you're going to use your left thumbstick and push up and hold your right thumbstick. Yeah, we're definitely going to fix that camera sensitivity. That is way too slow for my liking. All right, right there. So I think that is pretty much it, guys. Now, let's go back into here. Go back into here and go back up to this part right here. I'm going to go ahead and deselect all this and select it all so it's back on the map. And then if we go here to farmland, right here, this tells you the farmland you have here. So my farm. Now, you can't deselect these, I don't think. You can't deselect these unless you just can't do it because we're in this part of the game. If we go on over, this is create job. This is more like your AI menu. This will be a different tutorial as well. And active workers. This shows your active workers that you have hired. So again, this is all your crop types, your growth, your soil composition. Oh, we did not go over this. I'm so sorry, guys. We didn't go over this. Soil composition. Mulch right there shows you everything that's been mulched. Again, it's just like the growth stuff and the weed. It just shows you what's on the field and what's been done. So needs rolling right here. I don't think there's any fields that need to be rolling, but your fertilized right here will be your dark blue and your lighter blue. So if I deselect this, you're going to see a lot of fields that are going to be that are unhighlighted. Okay. Now if I click it back, there it is. If I click it back, you'll see the fields come on, and that means these have all been fertilized. Okay. Let's go down to here, and I think that is pretty much it. We went over general settings, controls, game settings. Up here is the tutorial that we're going to be doing here in a little bit. But that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is going to do it for this tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. As always, subscribe if you're new. Smash that like button for me. Click that bell and click all so you never miss any future content or live streams. Until next time, everyone, this is CJ Farms, and one crop at a time, we are helping America grow. I will see you all in the next video.